Short answer, I did not always know, but I always was one. Longer answer, group evangelical, and I was always told that that kind of stuff was like evil. And so when I started deconstructing, I allowed myself the luxury of talking to a psychic, and the first thing out of her mouth, she was like, "You are very psychic." And I was like, it's where. In general, my brain has like 12 tabs open all the time. 3 of them are playing music. She said, your mind moves like very, very fast. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, you're channeling. Some of that is just thoughts. Some of that is actually channeling in information. And you just don't know that. And I was like, huh. So then I was like, what if I tried? So I read a fuck ton of books on the screens, and I took their classes, but their development circles. I never had the money to take an official proper course, but I did sit in on a good bit of development circles at this institute. It was there that I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, I'm a psychic medium. Literally the first class ever, it was just me and like 2 other ladies and the teacher, and I didn't know what I was doing. I told her, I was like, this is how you do it. She gave me the techniques, which I kind of already knew from the books that I read, and I sat there and I informed this woman of like her grandfather, the kind of job that he had, the kind of relationship that they had, like the ring that he wore, and the woman was like, actually, yeah. Evidence just gets more and more insane. I made a woman cry one time. Thing is, I am a psychic and a medium. Sometimes somebody is just like one or the other. There is a difference. Mediumship is, grandma says the yellow dress is in the back closet off to the left. Psychic stuff is like, I did a reading for my friend literally the other day. She wanted to know who her spirit guides were, and I was like, there's this little dragon, and it's little, and then it gets big, and it kind of looks like a cartoon, like Pete's Dragon. She's like, well, I never saw Pete's Dragon. She's like, what does that guide help me with? I said, confidence. She goes, and it grows? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, oh my god, there's a book that I read when I was a kid called There's a Dragon in My Wagon, and it's about a cartoon dragon in that style giving a girl confidence. And I was like, holy shit. And sometimes it does just like assault me like a, you know, written note strapped to a brick getting yeeted at my head at full speed, like the information of the person who is following me and watching my stuff, who's of high enough profile to not want to come out and say hi. What's up? I know you're watching still. I know what you're dealing with privately that you haven't talked about publicly, and I'm happy to talk to you about it if you ever just want to email privately. I know you're busy. And so yeah, that's a really long-winded way of saying I always was one, but I did kind of just become one, and I'm on the understanding that anybody can be a psychic in a medium, just in your own special way. And I actually used to have a podcast about it called I'm Psychic, I guess, where I talked about it, but then, you know, my life has been in a perpetual state of falling apart for the last 2.5 years, and I took a big old break from it. I might return from it since this seems to be picking up for some reason. If I can do it, you can do it. It's just a matter of training and meditations and blah, 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 blah.